Okay, let's have one or two 5-minute games today. Let's play E5. Yes, long delay. A bit of a change. Okay. How about H6 and G6? If White's going to play D3, just try and finish at a bishop and play for F5 later. Doesn't need to go on C5 here. Maybe. I'll play it like King's Engine. It's a kamikaze. So White probably wants to play C3 and D4. Yeah. Maybe I think I should try and strengthen E5 before D4 arrives. If D5, that's a fine. That's like King's Engine closing up the position. But he's going to use this diagonal now, so that's more painful. So I might have to take on E5 with the knight and take with the queen. Now F4. But there, I don't know. Queen could maybe move back. Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. Practically forced, otherwise bishop A3 is skewing queen and rook. D takes bishop A3. So D takes knight E5. Let's put this rook somewhere to avoid the skewer. Anyway, it's not anyway. Now the knight's moved. It's not protecting A3. Okay. So bishop G4, trying to tempt D5 or H3. Your target. Okay, we've got D5 in, so I can now try and play it like a King's Engine. So I'll move this bishop back to D7, then start rerouting everything to support F5, F4, G5, G4, that sort of thing. I don't think A6 is that harmful. I'll play B6. So F5, maybe knight F7, or F5, F4. I suppose you could play bishop B5 here, but yeah. My rook, I suppose, belongs on F8. Should I first move knight F7? Knight F7. Okay, what's the aim here? Maybe knight F7 is useful. Just F4, just getting F4, G5, G4, just for initially a space advantage. But then there would be a threat of actually winning that knight with G4. It's going to go back to D2. Maybe knight F7 to G5. That springs to mind now. Okay. So C5, G4, knight moves back, knight G5 threatening. Maybe F3. If it takes, then he loses his dark square bishop. I could prepare it, I suppose, without playing F3. Let's play knight G5 here. I think I will do. Which one? Knight G5. The F knight. The F knight means rook F8 to F6 to G6, so maybe that one. Also, it's out of the way for F3 to be supported by the rook on F8. Okay, so getting swamped on the queen side as expected in the sort of King's Engine structures. But these knights are not really that geared up. Well, this one in particular is not geared up for D6, undermining. This one is, but it will be at the expense of loosening F3, so F3 is even more tempting. So. In fact, F3 here is takes knight F3, bishop G4. That looks pretty convincing. Knight D2, rook F8. So I can just play it here. I think I will play it here. So I think this attack is hitting home first. If I can isolate these two pawns, that positioning at least will give the rook attacks the knight H3. If I can just get rid of this pawn, that'll be fine, positioning if nothing else. So so I think Fg. Okay, so now check. There's knight f4 hitting queen, bishop. Is that needed? What about rook f1 first? Hitting f2. Now knight f1, there isn't queen f1, there's queen g3 though. Unless there was a pawn on h4, then knight f4 would be even more effective. Knight f4, queen g3. Okay. Do I want to put in rook f4 first to stop any f4s? No, that's what f3. f3 might be a threat. So how about knight and the knight to g5 first? I think so. Might as well use this knight. So f3, at least the knights protecting each other. I can maybe just play knight f4 there if f3 actually winning this bishop. So this is a pretty successful King's Indian transposition. These pieces are just simply not geared up like in a normal mainline King's Indian for d6. The queen side attack seems really desperately slow. But okay, rook f3 here, bishop e2, there's knight f4. Also these pieces seem tactically vulnerable. Bishop and knight. So I think knight f4 is going to be really strong now. Do I need to worry about d6? I don't think so. Okay, so knight f4 would seem to just win that bishop, which could be handy. Oh, I could try and win the queen maybe with knight h3. Just realised. Knight h3. It's taking my queen. Okay. So win the queen with the rook. And playing h4. h5, h4. Being extra sadistic, I'm just wondering, because takes, I don't know, FG, maybe it's better to get white to take on, yeah, I'll get white to take on f3. Bishop d6, maybe hg and g2. Okay, oh, this is going to be beautiful. Queen g5, rook g1, queen g2. That could be a beautiful one, if it worked. Actually, queen, there's knight f2 mate, it's even simpler. Rook g1, knight f2 mate. Oh well, I hope you, that's cool, I hope you enjoyed that one. I did a little bit. I have to try and do this King's Indian transposition more often, but there was a clear danger he didn't play d takes e5 to try and use bishop a3, so... And once the centre closed, then this pawn really belongs for a fast c5. So he's not really able to use the c pawn for this that quickly. He has to get the bishop out of the way first. So in the meantime, my kingside attack, it's like an accelerated King's Indian. These pawns are now isolated, so easy to attack with the rook and knights. Also, f4 is desperately weak, as well as the bishop being a tactical vulnerability. So I know this was just a sadistic move. I didn't fancy, I don't know, for some reason FG. I thought, yeah, I'll just play for this instead. So this gets a very dangerous pawn instead on f3, which can be used for the mating. It's, going for the mate. Comments or questions on YouTube. Thanks very much.